not to knock our girls, but we got beat usually all the time. And it was hard on them. It was hard on them because especially once we had the gym and the event was here, the win would be nice. Okay, so middle school B team goes out there, lost. Middle school A team went out there, lost. So, you kind of see how the day's going. And we went out there, we went out to 3, and that was the first time that we beat Ransom at Dig Pink. But it was one of those, the build up, we lost the first one. Okay, well, you go in the next one, and it was really, really tight, and we beat them. And then, okay, we're going to 3. And when we won that last point, I remember the bench just rushed off the bench and climbed onto the girls that were onto the court. Some of the parents came down from the bleachers. It was so exciting. There was such joy in the room. And it was one of those finally, we did it.
I remember that. It took me 20 minutes to clear the court because our dance team always dances off after the JV match before the varsity match. And I couldn't get the people off the court for the dance team.
We were going to soak in that moment for everything it was worth. It was great.
This is the Leave It Better podcast, powered by the Side Out Foundation. Here's your host, Hall of Fame coach, Janice Kruger.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Today, my guests are Matt Althage, Athletic Director at Carrollton School of the Sacred Heart, and Claudia Garcia, Associate AD there, located in Miami, Florida. I think this was an important conversation to have because of the longevity of their participation with the Side Out Foundation and the hosting of Dig Pink at their school that has truly taken on its own life every year, that all the students, the staff are so happy to be a part of. I think they're getting close to pushing $200,000 that they have raised since the beginning for the Side Out Foundation and metastatic breast cancer research with the Side Out Foundation. The reason I asked you both to come on today is because, one, you're amazing people and I just like chatting with you, but also you guys have been with 19 other schools that have been with the Side Out Foundation from its beginnings of hosting Dig Pink. And you sit at the top of a lot of schools here that have done some major impact, not only in your fundraising, but in your community work of letting people know about breast cancer and things you can do and work there, especially your young girls in your school. But I wanted to chat today, just if I could have you all share some background, really. Matt, I think you might be here at the beginning in 2008 is when this all started. Were you doing something with breast cancer prior to starting with the Side Out Foundation and Dig Pink?
I moved to Miami in 2007 to start my job here at Carrollton School. So I was at our sister school in New Orleans, Academy of the Sacred Heart. We did, I think, our first Dig Pink event in 2006. I believe at the time we were working with the Susan J. Komen, and it was Swing for the Cure. But when I transitioned here to Miami at Carrollton, I did want to continue working on an initiative for, breast cancer awareness. So when I learned about the Side Out Foundation, it was a perfect fit for us. And it's kind of how we began the program here.
I feel like I remember you from that very beginning, because that was really some of my beginnings with the Side Out Foundation as well. So Claudia, when did you kind of come into the picture with Carrollton and the Dig Pink with your volleyball program?
I started at Carrollton in fall of 2012 for the 2012-2013 school year. And they had already done maybe 3 Dig Pinks at that point. And it was a big event for the school. At the time, it was over at our neighbor school, Ransom Everglades, just down the street, because we hadn't had our gym yet. But I mean, it's grown tremendously since then. And then, of course, the second our gym went up and we were able to host it here at home, that was huge. And we were able to really take off with the event. It's been great. And it's certainly a year highlight for the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think I've been able to visit you a couple of times there during your Dig Pink events. which I was blown away by your school, number one. And I didn't realize that you actually have still 5 schools.
We just recently made a modification or a change. So
Okay.
we still have 5 different divisions that not really work independently, but in their own spaces on 2 different campuses. But just last year we began and we named our Montessori through 6th grade the lower school and our 7th through 12th grade the upper school. So we're working underneath 2 divisions now. And we've kind of changed administrative roles to cover that change as well. We have 1 director and an associate in the upper school, and same with the lower school.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was originally 5 different learning communities, all underneath, the umbrella of Carrollton School of the Sacred Heart. So it's been an interesting change because we've had to change some wording. We used to be junior high athletics. Now we're grades 6 to 8, and been fun watching it grow. And I'm sure we're going to have a few more changes over the coming years because currently we have girls in different grades on different campuses underneath the lower school umbrella and as well as the upper school.
Okay. All right.
So we're trying to get everyone on the same campus. Not sure if we're going to make it happen, but that's our goal.
So how has that, from your beginnings, I know that you have some specific things you started with Dig Pink in terms of how you ran your event and how the young folks of the school were involved. Can you talk about what that was like kind of in the beginning and why that was so successful and to where you are today with your event and what stayed the same and what's slightly different?
I'll start from the beginning and then I'll let Claudia pick up the past few years. So when we decided to join the Side Out Foundation and help with the cause, as Claudia mentioned, we didn't have a gym in 2008. Our gym was not built in 2014. So we relied on our neighboring school, Ransom Everglades, to help us out. We are nice rivals, neighborhood rivals. We had a great connection with their coaching staff there. So I approached their coaching staff and we decided to do the event together. The first year we had no idea what we were doing. We just kind of flew by the seat of our pants. I think after year 2, it became a little bit more of a competition who could raise more money, us or Ransom. And it continued going that way, but we had a great relationship with Ransom until our gymnasium was built. And then once our gym was built, our first event here, was probably our largest because everybody was excited about the new gym and to be able to host it on campus. So yeah, it went from a nice neighborly competition to see who could raise more money to we just kind of took off and ran. Once our gym was built, Ransom was very happy not to deal with the chaos on their campus, so they allowed us to host every year. And so every year we just try and make it bigger and better and do what we can to raise as much money as we can. And Claudia has been a huge help over the past 6, 7, 8 years now. Kind of grew so big that I couldn't manage it all by myself. So I've leaned heavily on Claudia. And I have to admit, I kind of put a lot of it, if not all of it, on her. So
happy to do it.
I'll let her continue with that.
When it came to the fundraising portion of it, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the beginning, we would just have the one t-shirt sale. Mm-hmm. The design would change every year. It was something fun and cute for the girls to wear on that dress down day. The day of the Dig Pink game would be an all school dress down day. That expanded to different sales. And as Matt mentioned, there's different grade levels in different spaces. So depending on the age group in that particular space, we would have a sale catered to them, whether it was an ice cream sale or accessory sale. And the girls can buy things that they can wear on the dress down day and kind of play dress up in that regard. With the older girls, they love a good lunch sale. So that's what we do up there. Just bribe them with food. That always works. So that became a huge portion in the fundraising part. And with those sales, it became this build up to the event with the 2 weeks prior, given all of these different events in the individual schools. And that helped hype up the event some. That helped bring in an audience that maybe wouldn't have gone to the volleyball game otherwise, but it's really expanded. And as Matt mentioned, we really try to do it bigger and better, whether it's with decorations or the t-shirt design, or this year we've incorporated a homeroom poster board competition. So, there'll be a winner with that, and just trying to get really creative with ways to bring attention to the event.
Yeah, I think I had done a little bit of reading, and there was at one point, I think even some swimming and diving. I don't know if that was just only connected with Ransom, or if is that something that you guys still include?
No, we haven't done it with Ransom in a while. There was some change in their staffing. In fact, their entire athletic program is fairly new with their administration. So we kind of lost that connection a little bit along the way. We are going to try in the near future to get back with them. But they did host, I think our swimmers and other fall sports were jealous that we were doing this massive event for volleyball. And so they wanted to join in on the fun. When we were at Ransom, they did host a few swim meets on the same night that we were doing the Dick Pink event at the gym. And I think it's probably been 8 years since we've done a swim meet with Ransom.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I was there, I guess.
Yeah.
So you guys talked about the T-shirt, and I love the designs of your T-shirts, and I don't know who makes those or how you make that happen and I'm curious about how you get the design, how you get it out in the community. Is that just mainly a school sales thing, or does this jump out into your community?
The T-shirt design changes yearly. I tend to create them with help and input. I ask the girls for ideas, and it is somewhat a communal conversation. It's difficult to figure out a new one every year, but we do it. And I think we do a pretty good job. But yes, it is a community-wide sale. This year, I think we even opened it up to alums. We try to open it up as big as we can. It's 15 years here at the school between Montessori 3 through 12th grade. So we try to put it out there as much as we can. Being an all-girls school, we all know someone who's been affected by breast cancer. So it does hit home for many people. We want to include as many people as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom was diagnosed. We moved to Miami in 2007, and in 2008, she was diagnosed with stage 4. So, that played a big role in my wanting, to do something. Our head of school at the time, Claudia may remember the exact year, but within a year or two of us hosting the first event, I believe she was diagnosed as well with breast cancer.
The class of 2015 were seniors, so that must have been fall of 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a former advancement, our development office, we've had quite a few impacted here within our own staff and faculty, within the parent community as well. And being an all-girls school, like Claudia said, it's just a natural fit. Our love for volleyball also, a natural fit to do a great cause for a sport, that we both love. So it's been, a tremendous event for us, and we're very appreciative of what you all do.
Within your school being all girls and teaching and having your gals get involved with something bigger than themselves, and just really understanding as much as they can at that time about what this process is when you do have breast cancer. What kind of education pieces do you have that sort of fit with your school?
In the days leading up to the event, we do have some of the older girls go to the assemblies for Montessori and primary. Yes, of course, announcing the Dick Pink event, but why we do it. They give information of the Side Out Foundation and the work that they do, of course, at an age appropriate level,
Right.
And we have an all school pep rally the day of the event, and there our volleyball seniors give a little presentation about the Side Out Foundation. So yes, it has become a school event, but certainly we keep the why we do it in mind and try to remind them of that as often as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really big, what they get to experience and being a part of this. So if you guys were to give any advice, we have a lot of schools right now that are just finding out about us and interested in doing something. What would you say to them that could help them, one, either get started and make their plan, or they're already there and this was just a really great thing that happened, and I'd like to share it with you because for us it was really fun?
I would say get started. Start somewhere, whether it be the one game a year that your school community rallies around and that you really try to get a crowd for. And with that, you just start somewhere. I know that's probably not the greatest answer, but but there's power in community, and when you attach a cause to that community, I think people answer that call.
Yeah. So for you guys, you get started early. Your T-shirt design, when do you start putting your efforts and thoughts into that? Is it way out in front, Claudia, or are you kind of getting pushed by the,
That's one of my summer projects. That's on the summer to-do list. And then, again, it's a pretty big order. So we have to get that in the first few, maybe the first 2 weeks of school starting, when everybody is in back to school mode. So yes, those details are finalized throughout the summer. Once the girls are back on campus and in the school swing of things, that's when we open up the order.
Yeah. Now, do your kid, how do the kids or the volleyball players participate in the early part of the planning? Do they get in on that, or where do they kind of come in?
They give a lot of input and feedback, and oftentimes recommendations. I mean, one of the food truck recommendations was from the girls, but they care a lot about this event, and it's their team. People are coming to rally around them. So they take a lot of pride in it, and certainly help in the conversation surrounding, well, what can we do for next year? And, let's do this for next year. Let's try that. They certainly play a part in it.
Yeah, I love that. That's ownership. And, you really can feel it, especially for both of you too, to have that in your school is just the power of the student body is very positive.
And they have great ideas. They know what people want to come enjoy. So. Yeah,
right. Social media. Do you all do anything with the students with helping to promote your event? Is that something that happens? It's not my forte, by the way. I know very little about social media.
Well, Claudia is our social media department within the athletic department too, so she can answer those questions.
Social media certainly plays a huge part. It's a quick and easy way to get the word out to people. Yeah. We did a big revamping of our social media and branding, so to speak, last year. And that has also been a tremendous help. And the girls have rallied around that big time. We actually got some requests for them to do the game day post for that day. They wanted their stuff out there. So we're working together with them so that they can get the design that they want for that day. But yes, it's massive. It's massive. And we start reminding them. We push the t-shirt sale through social media. We push the school sales through social media, our fundraising goals. We do a countdown to the day of. That's where we post our game schedule. It's huge. We know that everybody is on social media, but maybe not everybody checks their email. So it's very valuable.
Matt, how do you get involved with that? Any at all?
Social media, I see what they post.
You're an observer.
Yes. We did start a few years ago the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. We've also started implementing them into the day of planning. They're also pushing out on their personal social media accounts, all of our posts as well, to help spread the word and just make everybody aware of the day of event and about the Side Out Foundation as well.
Yeah, awesome. For the Side Out Foundation, the two of you and the school are such pride points for us in the way that you have tackled this and grown it and taken it on. And the impact you're helping us with is very significant as we make our way through doing as much as we can to try to change the way breast cancer is treated, and specifically working in the metastatic community. So I thank you both for that. It's really big. So if you were to look back at maybe some of the best moves you've made, and maybe some of the years where your fundraising was like, whoa, where'd this all come from? Was there a specific or one in your mind that you could, that you remember?
One that sticks out for me is certainly when we started targeting the individual schools and getting on their level, so to speak. You know, the Montessori kids don't usually come to watch a volleyball match, but the second that we did something for them, we brought the awareness down to them. All of a sudden, they want to stick around after school that day, maybe with a bunch of their friends, and exposure counts for a lot. That was certainly a big one when all of a sudden we started doing these little mini sales in all the different schools, and they responded.
Yeah, awesome.
That was a big fundraising year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janice, we've tried, and every year Claudia and say, what else can we do? So we would love advice from other schools as well that have been successful to add. It gets to a point where your community, not that they tire of it, but they want something additional or something different. So
yeah.
Every year we're thinking of what new we can do. What can we try different? For years we've talked about, we really need to get the t-shirt order out to the other school we're playing against.
Sure.
Try and change the design to make it more specific to them. We haven't gotten there yet, but I do think that would also help us increase in future years, money we're able to raise. This year we are, for the first time since we started, just raising the admission fee to get into the event. So we're hoping that will be a little bit of a boost this year as well. But our ticket sales or our shirt sales, Claudia, how many did we sell this year? 800 plus?
Close to 900.
So, that's usually the bulk of most of our donations. We also haven't raised our prices on the shirts for a while because we don't want to nickel and dime everyone.
Yeah, right.
But again, with costs going up in just product, we try to think of our community as well, and not, trying to push them just for money, but to, make it an enjoyable event for them as well, and something that they will remember.
I think I read somewhere where you used at one time that purchasing the T-shirt was the admission to the competition. Is that still in play, or is that separated now?
No, still in play. So
still in play. Awesome.
That's your best bargain, to buy the shirt, and you're welcome to all festivities that we host. So
yeah, right.
We have two options, in fact. We have a long sleeve, dry fit-ish material. That shirt is $31, and then just your classic short sleeve t-shirt in pink is $16.
Yeah, our event's actually next Friday. So October 4th, with our school, our district tournament always begins middle of October. So it's very difficult for us to get it into October because of school schedule and when we have to finalize play. So this year, usually we're October 1, 2, or the very end of September. So we were thankful to give us that additional week this year. We could push it into October. So it'll be next Friday, and it will be very loud in the gym.
What has volleyball taught you both about life?
That's a deep thought, Janice.
That is.
You work on yours, Matt. You work on yours. I know you got it.
I will.
I think volleyball has taught me the value of teamwork, being able to lean on others when you need to. One person isn't going to win you a match. One person isn't going to get you through practice. It certainly takes at least a little bit from everyone. You have people to lean on you when necessary, and you can lean on others when necessary. Again, I believe in the power of community, and teamwork is a community. A team is a community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why I love this sport so much.
Takes
Matt,
a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, right.
Well, listen, it's one of the few sports where you do need the full team to be active in every play. Not that other sports don't, but to keep a ball in the air without letting it hit the ground and touch three different people to be successful, it's the only sport, that does that. As far as coaching, I would say, just realizing that where you begin a season and where you end are you're at two different levels, and just trusting the process. And sometimes it's very difficult to get your team to buy into what you're doing, but when they see those results, they have those aha moments. As Claudia mentioned, just what they can learn from participating on a volleyball team. It helps them get through challenges later in life. As a coach, same thing. You've had those one or two athletes you just don't feel like you ever connected with. And then I told Claudia, actually, it wasn't Claudia, it was one of my other coaches who was struggling last week. I said, I got a text from a player I coached 20 years ago. And it's those moments that you may not see immediately, but you are affecting people in their life and how, their outlook on life. So it's rewarding, and it's also very fun. I stopped coaching a few years ago when I hired our recent head coach, just due to my time commitment. But I do miss it. I'm going to actually help. Claudia's out of town next week. My oldest daughter, Kaylin, graduated from Carrollton 2-3 years ago now, is Claudia's assistant. So I'm going to sit on the bench with my daughter while she takes over the head coaching reins next week and assist with her. So.
Oh, God, that's wonderful, Matt. Yeah. That's just really great.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Listen, I never thought, Claudia knows my daughter well. My children have grown up here at Carrollton. They all started here when they were 3. So they've spent many summers in the office, many afternoons in the office. But no, it's amazing. I never would have thought, even though she loved the sport, her personality is not one to be, outgoing in that coaching role, but she's really taken it on and has done a wonderful job. She started with our middle school team last year, also worked with our beach program, and Claudia really felt the need to pull her up to be her assistant this year because she connects well with the girls. And her demeanor is perfect for an assistant coach. She's a calming force when they're stressed. She helps calm Claudia down as well at times when she's stressed. So she plays a very important role, and proud to see it happen.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. So if the two of you had to think about maybe in recent time here of something that just really inspired you, either that you saw, you were a part of, could you give us an example of what that might have been for you, where inspiration just was like, oh my God, this is amazing?
I have one, and it's game related. So when I was still coaching in New Orleans, it was right before Katrina, the summer before Katrina came. I was part of the Bayou Region High Performance team. My mentor was the head coach, and within 2 weeks, we put together a team to go play at the high performance tournament. And I think we were in St. George, Utah. So we went in not knowing what to expect. We flew in. I think we had a layover in Dallas, and there were a few other teams that were going. And we were looking at these 6'3", 6'4" players, and we were saying, what did we get ourselves into? I think one of our middle blockers was 5'8". The other was 5'11". We had to run a 5'2" because we had a setter that was 4'9", and our other one was a little bit slower. But anyway, we went to St. George, Utah, not knowing what we were going to do. Ended up beating both of the USA teams that they put together from their high performance tryouts. We lost our first match, which was against Ohio. Ended up playing them again later in the tournament, beat them. So we found ourselves in the finals against Hawaii. They played the semifinal or the consolation match the same time they played the final. So we were in game 2. We lost the first 2 games to Hawaii. I forget whom, but one of the gentlemen from USA Volleyball walked over and said, listen, we're going to give you a little bit extra time in timeouts because we don't want your match to finish before the consolation match. So our head coach, Mike Barnes, who is my mentor, said, well, we do plan on still winning this match. And sure enough, we ended up going 5 and winning in a battle. We had a lefty right side who ended up playing at UCLA, and Hawaii had a massive outside hitter. And they were aligned in the front row against each other. And game 5, I think we ended up with about 1,500 people surrounding the court and ended up winning the finals. So, it proves to you that, that never give up mentality, it's always possible. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's hard to tell your girls that, but when you live it, it's easy to remember, it is possible.
Oh my.
That was kind of a highlight and a great teaching moment for our girls on that team as well.
I'm going to put that one in my book and hang on to that. I mean, beating Hawaii, doing what you were able to do with those kids and that the belief, what a cool experience, Matt. That is a story for the ages, I think. Claudia.
Mine was actually at a Dig Pink match in the days when we used to partner with Ransom for the event. Ransom's program had always been amazing. Not to knock our girls, but we got beat usually all the time. And it was hard on them. It was hard on them because especially once we had the gym and the event was here, the win was nice. The win would be nice. And I remember Kaylin, Matt's daughter, was a freshman that year. And okay, so middle school B team goes out there, lost. Middle school A team went out there, lost. And so, you kind of see how the day is going. And we went out there, we went out to 3, and that was the first time that we beat Ransom at Dig Pink. But it was one of those, the build up, we lost the first one. Okay, well, you go in the next one, and it was really, really tight, and we beat them. And then, okay, we're going to 3. And when we won that last point, I remember the bench just rushed off the bench and climbed onto the girls that were onto the court. Some of the parents came down from the bleachers. It was so exciting. There was such joy in the room. And it was one of those oh, finally, we did it. And it was great. A mom had brought her professional camera and snapped a picture of all the team hugging in the end, and their eyes are watering and their mouths are open. And I have that picture hung in my office to this day. It was a great, great, great moment.
Oh gosh.
I remember that. It took me 20 minutes to clear the court because our dance team always dances off after the JV match before the varsity match. And I couldn't get the people off the court for the dance team.
We were going to soak in that moment for everything it was worth. It was great.
Yeah, Claudia, I'm going to need you to take a shot of that picture if you wouldn't mind. And we'll put it with this. And I don't know, Matt, if you have something with that crazy win that you had against Hawaii, that would be really
I'll reach out to Mike and see if I know there's a video out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Geez, we're talking 2005. So I don't know how good the technology was back then for pictures, but I'll see what I can find.
Yeah. So the two of you doing tremendous things there with the sport of volleyball, with the cause, with Dig Pink. And the podcast is called Leave It Better. What does that mean to you? If somebody asks you, what does Leave It Better mean to you?
It's a good thing to live by. Leave it better, whatever life throws at you, whatever circumstance you walk into, anything with a job, with family. Life has a tendency to throw you some curveballs, and whatever comes across your plate or whatever circumstance you walk into, do your part to make it better. And when it's time to leave it better than when you found it. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has something to offer, and something that no one else can contribute in the same way that's special to you, and just give that to everything that crosses your path, and leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
Try anyway. Have that be the intention.
Sure. Awesome.
I think youth sports have changed so much. When I first got into coaching, we did it because we loved it. Children and parents alike, I think had the same mindset, and it's changed so much, especially over recent years, where a lot of people are leaving the profession. We have a lot of officials and referees leaving as well because of how they're being treated. We try our best here to make certain our families, our athletes, our parents understand the reason why we do this. It's not always easy. We have those rough days, those rough patches where we have those difficult conversations, whether it be with parents or athletes. But I think what we try to do within our department is leave it better for the next generation. I won't be here forever. I'm hoping I leave Carrollton Athletics better than when I arrived. I have an amazing staff, and I think we push each other to hold each other accountable and make certain that we are, doing the best that we can for our community and for our athletes. So I think through sport, even our modeling to our athletes, expectations of them later in life, hopefully they do look back and see how they were treated and with respect, and hopefully they will, leave it better for the next generation when they're in our position later.
Yeah. Awesome, you guys. Leave it better to me. One, not that it didn't start on a volleyball court, but in the game of volleyball, one of the things you are usually asked to do is make the next contact or the next play better. So you leave it better. And I don't know if it started some reinforcement there. And I lost my father really young. I was in college when I lost my father to pancreatic cancer. And one of the things he said to me during one of my last conversations with him is just that I just really want you to go out there and do your best. Do your best all the time. Just try to make it better. And I find, when I listen to you two talk about your volleyball program, about your Dig Pink, about your school, and I have witnessed over the years the positivity that you have, but also the challenge that you present and work with your students and the results that you're getting. And it just makes my heart melt when I hear about 20 years later, you're getting a response. Those do come about, and it's just, you just never know. But when you look at it, that you're going to try to make things better at your time, it absolutely will come back around at some point in time. So I am truly thrilled by having the two of you on today.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please share your feedback with us at side-out.org.